You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you on this May the 19th, 2023. We're coming at you live from the greater city of Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. And grateful to be here with you. Glad you are able to be with us. Thanks to all those who have been with us from the beginning, or if you are new or coming on board at any particular time since we started over a year ago in this capacity as Sudbury News Talk. Thanks for being with us and thanks for checking us out. And we really appreciate you and joining us on the show each and every day. If you're not able to catch it live, you can also catch us on Facebook. It lives afterwards on Facebook and YouTube, on our Facebook channel and YouTube channel, Facebook page, YouTube channel. And so, yeah, make sure to check us out. You just won't be able to comment live, that's all. But you can still leave your comments in the comments section. And we encourage you to like, share, subscribe, follow. But this is your conversation on your station. So chime in and we'll do our best to get your comments read. And that way people on the radio can hear them. But if you are on Facebook, you can read the comments, take part in the discussion about the news, the issues that we face, not only locally, but regionally and abroad. So thanks for being with us. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. You won't be able to hear some of the different audio clips. We're going to have to troubleshoot that later on today, hopefully, so that way tomorrow it's all set to go. Not sure what happened there, but we'll figure that out. And it's all a work in progress. Thanks to Billy for getting us up and running this morning. We got off to a bit of a late start, but we figured out the problem, and we're here, the miracle that is Sudbury News Talk. We're live on CKLU. We're live on the air. We're live on streaming at cklu.ca. We're Facebook Live, YouTube Live, facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. So we're grateful to have you here. We're grateful to get started. We have in the studio with us this morning, who was joining us remotely yesterday, but Anik is here in the studio. Good morning, Anik.
Good morning. It's better late than never, Aaron. It's better late than never.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. So we're late, but it's better than never.
And who are they anyways? That's what I want to know.
Let's talk about they.
They. Who are they?
Make up all the rules.
They make up all the sayings. They make up all the rules, but...
It must be really hard to be they.
You know, I don't know. Can you apply to be they? Part of
good
they?
Question.
You know, you get the email, anikgervais@they.com.
That sounds like a good email.
And you can say, you know what I said today? And then everyone else goes out and says, you know what they said?
Yeah.
You know what they're saying?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So you could be part of that group. You just have to apply, I guess. Monique, look at Monique's joining us already. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, everybody. David, his usual, stay safe. Good morning, David. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Judy, good morning. Thanks for being with us, as well as Denise chiming in. Good morning, Monique. There's a few Moniques too, right? So as we're growing the names, there's going to be multiple of the same names. We're grateful for all of you joining us. Mona, good morning. Diane, good morning. Aaron and Billy. Bon matin. Normally it's Billy on Thursdays, but Billy actually had to work today, and he will be here tomorrow. So bon matin and Nick.
Well, thank you.
Keeping it bilingual as much as we can here for our Franco-Ontarians and abroad. Good morning, Shane. Thanks for being with us as well. It's really hard getting off to like these discombobulated starts to the day where there's like 60 devices and all kinds of things. But wow, it's a miracle that we're live here.
If people had to guess how many screens are in front of us right now, how many screens would you guess?
Okay.
People watching.
Let's just see. People watching, see. And in the meantime, good morning to you as well. Are you able to pronounce the name?
Let me see. I'm sharing. Oh, Abu Bakari Mohammed.
Abu Bakari. Okay.
Abu Bakari.
Perfect. Hopefully we got the name right. And it's not our strong suit of being able to pronounce names. And it's really hard and difficult. But, with all respect, give it a stab.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. So I guess we'll leave the trivia question out there. Guess how many screens are in front of us that are part of making this show happen, that also behind the screens have software and hardware and all kinds of things to make sure.
This is also a screen.
Oh, that's a screen. Oh my goodness. And that's a screen.
That's a screen too.
Okay, there's two more than what I would have even imagined. We'll come back with the answer right after the weather, right after this. And you won't hear this on the radio. You'll just hear probably silence. So we apologize for that. But on the live stream, we got it. All right, your Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. And there's currently a frost advisory. There was a frost advisory yesterday as well. So let's see here. What does this entail? It entails frost. Widespread frost is expected early this morning with temperatures near or below zero, the freezing mark. So cover up plants, especially those or frost prone. But if you didn't do it already, I'm sad to say, more than likely, they're probably not doing well. So if you have,
they're dead.
They're probably not. So yeah, our condolences to that. So anyways, sorry about that, but there is frost, and you get what you get living where we live.
And we shouldn't be planting anything before May long weekend anyhow.
Try not to if you can hold off. Currently it is 0, feels like -3. But today, sunny. Moderate winds, high of 15, so it's cool. So kind of nice. I like the cool and sunny days myself. And with the wind chill, it will be -3 this morning. UV index will be 7. Tonight, clear. Wind south 20 kilometers, becoming light this evening. I thought that was already light, but low of +4. Friday, increasing cloudiness. A few showers beginning in the morning. Great. The high will be 15 again. UV index will be 3 or moderate. A little look at your 6-day forecast. Friday, few showers. Just a few.
Just a few.
A few showers. And then Saturday, a 40% chance of showers, whether they be few or many. There's a 40% chance. And then 30% chance on Sunday. High of 14. High of 19 tomorrow or Saturday. And then you got your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all sunny. So for the Victoria Day, Monday, it'll be sunny. So I don't know if your plans this weekend, you got plans to travel or whatever, take the weather into account. For those on the radio, our satellite view right now just shows the clearing over pretty much Sudbury, Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie. If you were to make a circle, that would be the clearing. Other than that, looks pretty cloudy. That's your weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back. We're going to skip any sports segment today just because we got off to a little bit of a late start. And we'll dive right into the news headlines, your comments on the issues of the day locally and abroad. We'll be back right after this. Okay, and we're back. And I apologize again for the people on the radio. It is something with our configuration here that we have the sound from that particular device on that particular screen, which is one of many screens that we have here that have troubleshooting. We have to do troubleshooting on them each and every day.
No one took a guess.
No one took a guess.
No one's participating today.
But Diane redid her comments to say good morning, Nick and Aaron and a Nick. So
there you
bon
go.
matin.
Bon matin.
Is that how many ways to say good morning in French? Is that pretty much it, or
good morning, bon matin? Yep.
That's pretty much it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Not salut morning.
Salut morning. Salut matin. No.
No, it doesn't jive. Okay.
No.
I usually just try and take the English and put a little bit of a French thing on it. It gets me by in Chelmsford, but not many other places. So amount of screens that we have here. So we'll count them up. If you include the screen behind me, it's even more.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Screen behind. So that makes it an even number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 screens. 10 screens to bring you Sudbury News Talk each and every morning. Oh! Was 5, now 7.
Ooh.
No, it's 10.
Stefan, thanks for participating.
That's Stephen. And in this particular studio, it's different than the other studio I'm in. So we have different setups in each one. So we have 2 studios. So on top of that, on top of troubleshooting this particular setup, we also have troubleshooting in another whole setup that we have that have multiple devices. All paid for by
us.
Yours truly and everybody on the show contributing in their own ways. Looking at the reflection on the screen behind you. Yeah, that is one of them. And in my other studio, there is no screen behind me. There's just a blue wall.
I like the blue wall.
You know what? Yeah, it's kind of interesting story there. I was new to that office, and the new guys coming in, and everyone kind of shuffles around and picks the probably
best office,
the bigger offices or the better ones. And it turned out that office was perfect for me in the show, so it was great, And there's no complaints from me. It always works out. Things always work out somehow in the end.
It always does.
Let's look at our headlines for today because there's many. I want to get into as many of them as we possibly can. And there's some fun stuff today. I like to try to keep it a little bit lighter. We will not shy away from the deep dives because we do live in a very interesting time with interesting things going on. But we also are human beings, and we want to be able to live a human type existence. And part of that is to be happy and to be peaceful. And so, good morning, Vince. Speaking of that, is a very, very peaceful, particular person. Sends me great messages of really cool people. Yesterday, we talked about a person cleaning up the garbage. You wanted to give a shout out to.
Yeah.
That was really awesome. You were on the show. Obviously, you remember that. Good morning from Timmins.
Oh, there's a cute video I hope you share.
You hope that I share? Oh, yes, I will. Happy Thursday from Sudbury. Pam chiming in. But that was Jerome. Good morning from Timmins. Yeah, I didn't know Jerome was maybe just in Timmins for the moment. Don't know if he's living there, but Jerome's been pretty much part of this show right from the beginning. So first off, let's get started on the headlines. There's quite a few of them. This is interesting here because I am a musician, and this caught my eye this morning. Musicians wanted for downtown Sudbury. We're looking for entertaining and energetic performers to join us for our Live Plus Outside Summer.
I love that.
And speaking of being human and wanting to basically have a little bit of joy and happiness in life, not always look at the dark things that are going on in
doom
our
and
world.
gloom.
Exactly. This should be great for downtown.
Yeah.
They're looking to get musicians, hire them so it's paid. And you submit your application. Even if you're a new musician, you don't have to have tons of experience. They want musicians of all types because each and every Thursday between 5 and 7, they want musicians to be performing at a location downtown. So that way there will be something going on each and every Thursday
Well,
night.
that's really exciting for all these new musicians that are trying to get their name out there, their music out there, to spread that music love. So that's exciting. I sent the post to a couple people that I know that are in the band.
Excellent. That's awesome. Yeah. And hopefully it brings some vitalization to downtown and utilize all of the businesses that are down there, mainly restaurants, cafes, things like that, and be able to get out and have a good time. My brother up there mentioned snow yesterday in Timmins. Oh, great.
Yeah, I saw a couple pictures of snow.
That's why, even living in Sudbury, I had ice on my car yesterday. So similar, right?
Yep. Oh, in Espanola.
Yes. Yeah. And a similar temperature here and there, right? Sometimes it's a little different, but you didn't have any ice on your vehicle?
No.
Okay, Colum. Why tear down the super stack?
Turn it into a tourist attraction.
Yeah, you could tour. This is I had the same idea before. We're really known for our smokestack. It was at one time the tallest in the world. I think it is now the second tallest, something along those lines. It's very tall. I'm sure something can be done with it. Put an elevator on the side, go for rides up and down, make it into a ride. I don't know. That's
a good idea. Put an elevator there.
It's a stretch, but yeah, with a glass floor on it so people can get more excitement out of it.
And then just put a cord and have a zip line from the super stack to another line.
Oh, you can do zip lining from the stack. Yeah. That would be pretty awesome. Right into the tailings pond.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Then people are starting to grow a third arm.
This is a particular person writing into the Sudbury Star saying, some years ago when I was a business owner, I was also a member of the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce. At the time, Chamber was interested in the potential of Sudbury as a tourism destination in Ontario. And I was asked to come up with an idea that would explore the possibility, together with a few friends who were local lodge operators, and with added help from Sudbury amateur radio operators. Oh, cool. Local Army cadets and others. We attracted several hot air balloon pilots to Sudbury. One weekend in the summer, we hosted the first and only Sudbury Hot Air Balloon Festival.
Wow.
That took place at the Lily Creek playing fields.
I've always wanted to be in a hot air balloon, Aaron. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, well,
they need to bring that back.
I think so.
It's true.
I want to buy a hot air balloon myself.
Oh, jeez.
Watch this. You know what, Nick? You could get one with your head. It's just your
my head floating everywhere.
For Sensi.
Yeah,
it's a way to get.
I don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Put in that way.
What it's like this? Like you're a Sensi consultant.
Look, it's a Nick's head.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Okay, so every morning, several times every day, I see the super stack standing tall on the horizon. The big stack was just finished when he moved to Sudbury, and his friends from Toronto held a coffee funeral for him to celebrate the move. So that was him coming to Sudbury, his relationship with the stack. But I wonder, what are the possibilities that could be done with the super stack? Are we talking about it? I think everyone just made the decision to tear it down, and that was it. I think there's some safety issues to do with it. Environmental. If you tear it down, there's definitely environmental issues with all the sulfur that's been part of that. If there's any,
that's true.
It's been spewing sulfur for years and years and years. I don't know how many more environmental issues there would be. Mount the water tower on top for a diner. Okay. So
for the water tower.
For the water tower, yeah. That's been floated around a few times. Zip line from the stack to the water tower. So you go over much of Sudbury to do that.
That would be a great tourist attraction.
So all of a sudden you're driving on Lawrence Street and this person just down onto your car. No, it's just another zip liner.
It's just another zip liner.
Oh, well.
I think it's true. Sudbury has been missing out on some tourist attractions. We don't really have a friend that wants to come down next weekend, and is there anything going on? I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I'll have to check in.
But really, there are a lot of things. I think Sudbury is a place waiting to kind of happen. Everyone just needs to kind of connect and get on the same page, and we're kind of discombobulated. People are over here, people are over there. You have the Francophone community, all these different communities.
Laurentian Park, and we have the Big Nickel, and we have Science North, and we have Dynamic Earth, and those are, yeah.
You know what? They're big. They're big kind of.
They're big things.
But I think they need to go along with other things,
I think we need more festivals. What?
We have the most festivals out of any other community, I think, in the world.
No way.
Yeah, I was gonna make Fest at one point.
Well, there's not one going on this weekend.
Fest, it would be all the festivals of Sudbury come to my festival, and they all have booths, and they all have
their own fest.
Show off a little bit of what they do. So you got the blueberry, the garlic, the the armpit festival. They all come, and they all have their own booths and whatever. We do have a lot of festivals. If you start naming them off, we definitely do have a lot
Well,
of
see,
festivals.
that's why these conversations are good, Aaron,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I had an opinion about Sudbury. You just changed it.
There's a lot of festivals.
All right.
There's no doubt about it.
Okay, we don't
Probably
need more
the festival capital of the world. Now, does everybody know about it? Obviously, you didn't.
No.
So there's the need to connect and have some
Advertise. You know all those big advertising boards, the digital ones? Like,
Yeah.
they should be advertising on those. Or have more advertising somewhere.
So New Mexico, a place in New Mexico, hosted an awesome hot air balloon festival. Vin went there in 2003. That's awesome. Yeah, Fest. I think it'll be great. So there's Rib Fest, which is an outside of Sudbury festival that visits here each and every year. That's known. The garlic, the blueberry, Festival Boreal.
There's like a cinema,
up here.
Cineplex or...
Yeah, there's all kinds of festivals for sure. I'm going to get a list of them at one point. A lot of people going to Toronto for concerts, big bands, and Blue Jays games for sure. Yeah, a lot of people traveling, right? Sudbury doesn't seem to be that tourist destination. I think for Northern Ontario, Costco is the destination for most northern places coming to Sudbury for sure. So Costco is part of the tourist plan for Sudbury. Go ahead.
Pam says camping and bush stuff is what brings people to Sudbury.
Yeah, outdoors.
We have such beautiful nature in our area. And it's true. It would be fun to have like a kayak river map, because I've gone kayaking, and going down the rivers around here is so fun.
It is.
And I just don't know where else to go. So it makes it more an adventure.
Yep.
And really, if there was a map, then that means there'd be more people.
And speaking of that, great segues today. I don't know how it's happening, but it just is. Police find missing canoeist at the edge of the Sturgeon River.
Whoa.
Rescue helicopter was sent out to retrieve a canoeist from the bank of the Sturgeon River north of Sudbury Tuesday evening. Isn't that beautiful? Do you see that picture?
Yeah. Was that his canoe?
I
Did
don't
he
think
take
so.
that picture?
I don't know. But it does look like the Vermilion River to me.
Yeah, it
I've
does.
done the Vermilion
look
River a
like
few
the
times.
Vermilion.
All the sand.
Yep.
Beautiful. It's just
That's
getting out
usually where we stop and take a picnic.
Just don't go there in the evening or stay overnight. The mosquitoes are very, very bad.
Yeah, and right now it's a good time to go because the water's a little high.
Yes, and less mosquitoes.
That's
I think
true.
so far. Don't want to say anything. They're about to come out. I'm sure of it. And speaking with a little bit of light and nature, here's a video that I found. My mom, actually, Natalie first. Natalie says the NORMHC Railway Museum, the Northern Ontario
In Cape Real.
in Cape Real, is hosting the annual Big Truck Show Festival. See, there's another festival
On Saturday.
I bet you if we got a list of all of we'd be all astounded at how many are going on. Brampton, Batman with the Batmobile will be here. No way. Ever cool. There'll be food, live music, lots of trucks and equipment for everyone to enjoy and sit in. Come on down or come on up. Depends where you are.
That's
come on
so
over
cool.
to Cape Real. And when is that? Says
This Saturday.
This Saturday. 2 days from now. Long weekend. Why not get out and enjoy some of our local things going on. So that's Cape Real on Saturday. Probably the full day. Just plan on being there. And speaking of beautiful water and things, like they have a great boardwalk where you can go for a walk along
true.
the water there.
There's a really nice kayak river there that you can rip through, and you go under the bridge, and it's really cool.
Exactly. So Vin is kind of Spanish River, Onaping River, Vermilion River, plenty local areas, lots of relaxing trip. So Nick was wondering if you could send the info.
Yeah.
That would be great. And we can talk about it on the show tomorrow. So if you have any visuals, whatever, you can email those or message us to Messenger or email to sudburynews@gmail.com. That would be great. And now that Natalie's on, I don't know if she knew or not, Mike Perron reached out. And so we'll have him on the show at some point. He said, anything you need, anytime. He's more than happy to come on the show. So that's great news there. And we're grateful for you, Natalie, for always giving us the information that, we speculate on a lot of things, but you're there at all the meetings, the city meetings and things like that. So we've really appreciated that. So my mom, she watches this guy all the time and she's like, hey, look at this guy from Nova Scotia. He feeds raccoons and he has a channel, a YouTube channel. There's tons of people watching it. And So here's a story of him from the Epic Times. So why is the Epic Times doing a story on this guy? These raccoons are so polite. They love to take a hot dog and then move away and let the other ones come and get them. So you think, here's a guy, there's wild animals at his feet, and he's feeding them hot dog. You would think it would just be pandemonium and just chaos, and he'd be eaten alive from all of these raccoons. Speaking of which, I think a raccoon got into my garbage last night. My wife just sent me a message, but they're not so nice to me over here. But watch how kind of
maybe if you gave them hot dogs.
Yeah, watch this.
Oh my God! Yes! 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 I'm wall-to-wall raccoons. You ready? Let's go. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know, there's got to be 30 raccoons at least. I don't know where they all come from. Oh my God. Yeah, they all love me. Because I got the food. Yeah, and I got Buddy hanging off me. Yeah.
Well, he definitely knows why they love him, which is great.
Yeah. I think the raccoons told all their friends, hey, there's this guy.
Well, yeah, no, he's been doing this for a couple of years now, and he started off with one raccoon, two raccoons, and then, you know.
No way.
Oh, yeah, no. And then they do. They all tell their buddies, I'm sure.
They're just like, yo, on Wednesday night at 9 p.m., there's this guy who gives us wieners.
It's like, wait, hey, did you know such and such restaurant has a deal on Tuesdays? Same idea, right?
Just like the guy with
Toonie
the
Tuesdays?
I love it.
Exactly.
I would like to start feeding raccoons, but I have chickens.
Oh.
And they kill them.
Yeah. Just for fun, apparently, right? They don't eat them.
No, they
Isn't that
just...
what you heard? They just
right.
kill
But
them
maybe
to
if
kill
I gave them a lot of food,
Yeah.
their bellies will be full. They won't kill my chickens.
I don't think your neighbors would appreciate that.
That's true.
Attracting raccoons.
Maybe I could attract them here.
Maybe a bit of a deep dive later. Why Canadian Prime Minister are the closest thing to democratic world has to a dictatorship would be, looking into that. That's, again, we're all nicey and fun and fluffy, and then we get to that, it feels like a downer.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
What a crazy picture.
Anyways, maybe we'll get into that later if we got time today.
Well, he is a dictator. He likes dictatorship, and I don't know, is this really a surprise?
Well, yeah, no, again, right, there's a lot, again, the whole show could be dedicated to policies and things like that. Maybe we will have one clip that goes along with that, which was a spar on policies by the Trudeau government. A reporter which agrees, mainly probably from CBC, I'm just saying it, or whatever media outlet, they're arguing one of Trudeau's policies because you can tell the ideology is the same. They believe in the same ideology as the government, and they're arguing with Pierre Poilievre on that, and he does a good job at just defending common sense, I think, to a large degree, but we'll get into that a little bit later. See, Vin saying he canoed from Duke Lake on the Spanish River to the Elbow near Fox Lake in 2011. Do you know all of these places? Do you know how long
I know
it is?
Elbow Lake.
Okay. 2011, 4-day trip. Beautiful fishing and scenery. Ooh. That's the thing with Northern Ontario. You cannot get a better place with as many lakes, and
it's true.
If you want to just get your canoe and get out there and portage, you can go lake to lake to lake.
Yes. I've been wanting to do that.
If you ever flown over Northern Ontario, it looks like a bunch of islands, really, in water.
Yeah.
Like, we have so much water up here. It's so awesome. Okay, so cities fire studies dividing Greater Sudburyans. I know Natalie's on here now. This is just
lots of talk about this.
A lot of talk about that, for sure. Our city institute members, having attended fire services gatherings, have seen attitudes surfacing within the city of Greater Sudbury that are unhealthy and divisive.
Whoa.
With the third study regarding fire station locations in Greater Sudbury, the divisiveness has been growing with comments such as...
Look at this article. It's creating division too.
Oh, the article about the division is
creating division.
Well,
look at this, what they're saying.
yeah.
Comments such as residents in a smaller urban center and rural areas chose to live in those areas, so they should just shut up and take whatever is thrown their way.
Well, they're just saying they've heard these comments.
Why would
right?
you make an article writing about this?
Well, this
stuff?
is what this person is saying. They're saying these are the things that are dividing people, these types of comments. So it's not this person saying these comments.
Right.
They're saying other people are
As if
saying.
someone would say that.
No, I know.
Because
Well,
when they moved there,
yeah, they didn't have that situation. They
yeah.
said, "Oh, good, there's a fire hall right down
Exactly.
the road." So they weren't moving there thinking they weren't going to have a fire hall.
no, residents in the smaller and rural areas have enjoyed fire protection at expense of those living in the city of Sudbury.
Yeah, the former city of Greater Sudbury. Yeah. Neither of these comments even come close to actuality. Proponents of the latest situation locations changes have failed to identify any benefits of the change locations and have not revealed why they continue to pursue
A phony reason of response times.
the smaller urban and rural areas in our community where residents live their own individuality and welcome others with the same aspirations. They function as community families where individuals coexist but are always there for each other. Yeah, that's true. We are good people at the core. We only want good things. We're neighborly,
It's true.
kind.
We have to remember too that one comment doesn't mean that's how most people feel.
No.
That one person probably had a really bad day, and that's why she's saying things like that.
Yeah. This is a large enough article. It's from Thomas Price, member of the Our Towns, Our City Institute. Closes with saying, time is closing on the need for smaller urban and rural communities to speak with one voice and soundly reject this latest attempt to disseminate the individuality of fire response as needed, where needed. In the meantime, as needed, where needed. In the meantime, when fire services finds an option that actually is an improvement, please present it with respect to the public that pays your salaries and benefits. So I think it sounds very,
We're all paying taxes.
yeah.
And we all had fire halls before they amalgamated. Dave says the fire department is closing the fire station and then manning them full-time fires,
Yeah.
creating an empire.
Yeah, they're taking away the volunteer. Fire department is closing fire station and then manning them with full-time firefighters. So it's interesting. It's controversial. I know Natalie's been a huge part of this. She actually wanted more public input into it. They wanted to kind of go ahead with stuff, but she said, no, wait. There's a new council. Let's look at this again. So they went out to the communities. So I think that was, in and of itself, really great. And there's a lot of heat. I know the Beaver Lake one was very heated. And whatever is,
It would just be nice to see
Whatever's
where the
gonna happen.
city's cutting costs. Like you're just shutting down everything and you're bringing up taxes. It's really pissing people off.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Sudbury, to bring in more income?
yeah.
Not from your people, because you guys are a bunch of experts. You all have really good education. Well, a lot of them.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I've been in the business and there's ways of making money and the city is not making money.
Well,
So
they are. They just raised the building permit by 10%. If you
There's
wanna
other
build
ways of
something-
making money.
If you want to build something, you got to pay an extra 10%.
Amazing.
So they can make money that way.
Yeah, but there's other ways of making money.
You think so?
Yes.
Crap.
Why? Sudbury needs to think outside the box here and not just raise prices.
But I think it's the model we have, which is kind of a more...
Okay, change the model.
Yeah. Well,
Quite simple.
You'd have to change the mind, change the heart,
But
to change the
hey,
model. and
we're
all
not
this.
making enough money. Let's find some entrepreneurs. Let's create some projects, like some festivals. Why doesn't Sudbury own these festivals and they make the money?
Like Ribfest.
Right.
Well, you could have your own Ribfest, but again, the idea of a traveling, it's like owning the Midway, which I think we should have a year-long Midway myself.
Exactly. And
It's a
all
place to
that
go
money
for kids,
goes
but-
to our
yeah.
Sudbury, goes to city of Sudbury, or it goes to the new arena, or we do fundraising, or there's a big event, there's a concert, and it's all going to our city. It doesn't take much
Yeah.
effort to think outside the box, and people would volunteer
They would.
to organize these things, to be part of it. to get free tickets.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I think people in Sudbury definitely want something like that. Again, this is what I like about Dario Zulich. Some people have different opinions from him. I've seen mainly positive opinions of Dario as a local mover and shaker business person. Look what he's done. He's kind of amalgamating all the sports teams and that's what needs to happen. So that way there's some cohesiveness there. And then now it's entertainment as well. It's sports, but it's also entertainment. He gets the big picture.
He does.
So then he wants to look at the community in the same way. You need people like that.
You do.
That are visionaries, that work with
who have money,
politicians.
Who are successful.
Well, they have more pull.
A reputation, like a portfolio, a successful portfolio. And you know what? He doesn't even care about a profit. I know people won't agree with that, but the sports team, all he cares is that it breaks even in the end.
Yeah, you don't want to lose money and
of course
lose
not.
your shirt, obviously. You just want to contribute. And so Dario is very involved for sure. 100%. Thanks to Natalie for getting more opportunity to look at the situation. But it seems the fire team has already decided to proceed without real consultation. And that could be the case too, right? Yeah, I think people are trying to do what they're doing, but there's all kinds of agendas all the time with things, and politics is not easy to do at all.
I just wonder too if...
Politics is not easy to do. I just realized what I just said. But politics is not easy when you get involved. You try to make a change, but you are one component of many.
It's true. It's just interesting how they're making rural areas more difficult to live in.
Oh, interesting, for sure, yes.
Right?
We pay just as many taxes, but the services we get, I think,
And there's a push to move us to the city.
Yeah, the way to go for rural is John down the road's got a plow and so, and you kind of take care of your own area. You just let the area take care of itself. But I know the world is moving away from things like that.
I was managing an Airbnb in Skied.
Yeah.
That road didn't get plowed. They pay about $8,000 in tax a year.
That's what I mean. And we have
on
so many roads.
Lake.
It's so hard. We have the most roads out of any
But they should get a
community.
tax break.
Kind of thing. Something needs to be kind of leveled up. But then other people who get their roads plowed pay way more taxes. But if that's the services you're getting, you pay for them, right?
Exactly.
So it is.
And if your kids don't go to school, you shouldn't be paying that either.
Exactly.
Like the bus service. Why am I paying for bus service? My kid doesn't take the bus.
Exactly. Yep. Definitely. Minik says you got it. Okay.
Steven says, I wish Mr. Zulich would make the water tower look better. The rusty top is a bad reflection on the city.
That's what we said is same thing exactly. And he's got a plan for that. So
yeah, it takes time.
Take a bit of time, but yeah,
but
you're
I
right.
agree.
I'd like it to happen sooner than later as well. I mentioned that. I said right to him, you got to do something about the water tower.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's ugly.
Yeah, we should be able to direct where the taxes go instead of the staff. That's why I always thought you should, on your tax forms, you go, okay, what do I want to contribute to? You have to contribute a certain amount. And anyways, some system like that, right?
Where, give us more accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
We would probably get more involved.
And, they always just take money and they say, okay, we got bad roads, so we need to increase the taxes. And then the roads never get better, but they said it's because of the roads.
Exactly.
If you had a more transparent system where you knew the money you were given for that went to that thing, that's the system I like. That's why I like the toll roads where you get on it, you pay your money for the toll road. Every bit of money that comes for that toll road goes into that toll road. And if there's a surplus, even better. You can prepare for a rainy day, and it belongs to that toll road. All the money, everything is transparent. The money that comes in when you drive on that road, because you pay for that road. When you use that road, it's used for that road. Anyways,
we know why it's not transparent.
Yeah, there's more.
So,
anyways,
it's dictatorship. Just kidding. It's going to be.
Well, let's get into this. I like this spar that Pierre Poilievre had. Now that we're getting a little bit more, crusty and less fluffy. Same with the rusty white pedestrian bridge from downtown to Bell Park. Oh, interesting too. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Imagine only paying for services you're interested in. I love that. What a great world that would be. I know, but then everyone says, yeah, but what about those who can't and whatever? But this is what you get. We're going into that philosophy. We're trying to create this utopian kind of idea that everybody's taken care of, but it doesn't end up like that because it's communism. Communism, when it's run by people, ends up in a not good way. Communism, when it's run by someone who's benevolent, can work out great, but the person at the top has to be benevolent, has to really care about people, has to be through and through the greatest person on earth. If it's not, then you ain't happy.
It's true.
The one last comment that I didn't get to, I didn't want to get over, was Jesse saying, why should some people on ODSP suffer a $2,000 hit? Good question. Also, imagine everybody got treated fairly and people on disability didn't get the shaft. Okay, there's those arguments. How do you have just, it's like the healthcare system, right? So those who can afford healthcare insurance in the States, there's the argument to be made, what about those who can't afford it? But I see it in the States, if someone can't afford it, they go to the hospital. Doctors do treat people anyways out of the kindness of their heart more times than not, and don't send bills to the people that need treatments, depending on the treatments.
At the same time, why, like, life is not all the time, but every action has a reaction. And if you're not taking the proper actions in your life and not making the right decisions, you may end up in a bad place. That doesn't mean, there could be an organization that will pay for volunteer, that will help pay for funds, but it shouldn't be all across the board where people who make better decisions get punished.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, so that's a good segue into Pierre Poilievre sparring with a reporter.
Oh. Well,
I wish I knew where the reporter was from, but the ideology they have is basically they're like a government spokesperson. Sounds like what the reporter is. Basically, it's like they're in Parliament and they're speaking for Trudeau because they have the same type of mindset about policy. And this is all about the bail reform and catch and release. And we should be kinder and gentler to reoccurring criminal offenders, violent crimes. And just listen to the wording of this reporter and Pierre Poilievre, and now you'll kind of get a little peek into why our legal system is failing. So here we go.
Conditions. So none of the catch and release system was not brought in by the Supreme Court. It was brought in by Justin Trudeau.
When you talk about bail, the crime has already happened, or the alleged crime has already happened. So how can you attribute bail to this increase in crime and not, should there not be more supportive measures to prevent the crime in the first place?
Well,
You're talking about someone being on bail. They've already allegedly committed the crime. So where,
they're committing crimes on bail. That's the problem. The problem is, I'll give you an example. In Vancouver, the same 40 offenders were arrested 6,000 times in a year. That's 150 arrests per offender per year. Why? Because they're arrested in the morning, then they're released on bail by noon, they reoffend, they're back in jail by 2 in the afternoon, and then they're released by the evening so that they can commit their final crime before they go to bed.
It's a failure of the system to not support people who have committed crimes, gone to jail, served their sentence, and then they're committing another crime. So is this not a failure of things like social services and support for people who have committed crimes?
Are you serious?
I'm asking you a
No,
question.
I mean, are you serious? Come on. You're telling me, no, excuse me, let me answer your question. Are you honestly saying that it's society's fault if a repeat violent offender commits 60 or 70 offenses? I think that criminal is to blame for his own actions. He is personally responsible. We're not talking about some kid who made one mistake when he was 19. We're talking about people who do 60, 70 violent offenses.
Why do those people
and then
commit
they're,
those offenses?
because they're criminals.
But why are they criminals?
Because they do crime.
And why do they do crime?
Because we let them out early on bail.
So because they
I
got
think we've
let
solved
out,
the riddle here.
because they got let out early on bail.
That's right.
They then commit the crime.
That's right.
So
That's what all the experts agree is the cause of the crime.
had they stayed in jail the whole time on bail in jail, not on bail as you say, they would then not commit crimes.
Because they'd be in jail, so they couldn't commit
And
crimes.
when they get out at the end of their sentence, they're crime free.
Well, we can't guarantee that, but what we can guarantee is the period when they're behind bars, they will not be able to do crime.
But you seriously don't think that there's got to be some, help with homelessness, mental health,
Look.
things like that? There's got to be some other thing than just locking people up.
First of all, What I'm proposing would ultimately lead to less people being locked up. During the previous Conservative government, the incarceration levels went down because we targeted the repeat violent offenders with stiffer jail penalties. Now, and we gave rehabilitation to a young person who made a mistake to get them fixed up and back out into a good life. That makes sense. But we're talking here. Do you know, here's the good news. We have very few criminals in Canada. It's a tiny minority. Like I said, in Vancouver, if you took those 40 offenders off the street, you'd have 6,000 fewer people hit over the head with a baseball bat or stabbed at a transit station. It's just 40 people. So take the worst, most chronic reoffenders, put them behind bars. Is there homelessness? Yes. Trudeau has caused housing costs to double. Naturally, because of the misery that his woke economic policies have caused people, particularly the poorest people, there's more homelessness, there's more mental health breakdown, there's more misery than ever before. People are asking for help with medical assistance and dying because they can't afford the cost of food. That is what you're going to get when you increase the cost of government and you drive up inflation, taxes, and interest rates. It's also what you're going to get when you legalize crack, heroin, and cocaine, as Trudeau and the NDP have done in BC, and it's exactly what you're going to get when you use tax dollars to give out free, hard drugs to addicts.
So I think many good points made there. Again, you don't get a chance to hear a lot of that on our mainstream media, especially here in Sudbury, Canada, for that matter. And so there needs to be laws, I think, is what needs to be defined. There needs to be laws, and you need to be a law-abiding
It's a reward to be part of society.
Exactly. You break laws, there needs to be,
There needs to be punishment.
What house would be run the way the current government is running things? And if you really follow politics and you're not, just looking at partisan things and you're looking at policies and bills that are being passed and what principles are they made on, if you ran your house the way that the government is, so if you just had credit cards and you're just spending, you'd go bankrupt. And if you didn't have any laws for your kids, you're just like, well, they're allowed to do whatever they want because there's an excuse for everything. And, and eventually there's just
raising my child.
mayhem.
If I never had rules,
yeah,
I'm not helping her.
That's what it's all about. It's just about rules. And it's like, if you
have to
if you
follow
kill
them.
somebody, we shouldn't just let you out to kill other
because
people.
I'm so sorry that your father abused you.
Like, why is that so hard?
Yeah, no. Well, I could have compassion, but you're not supposed to kill other people. There are people who are being abused who aren't killing people, who aren't doing drugs and went to school and got an education and paid their own way.
Yep.
They didn't have a handout.
Nope. So,
but the show's over, right?
It is,
It's
but
29.
that's just pay attention to what's happening in
It's
politics.
true.
And if you're triggered by a party or another party, you know what I mean? I'm not triggered by a party or what party you represent or whose son you are because they represented the same party. I'm not triggered by any of that. I'm triggered by what you say and what you do. It's done. It's not a party thing. Just look at what's being done. And do you agree with those things? Is your life better because of those things? Is it something you want to have in your community, in your country, in your life? And that's it. It's pretty much done. So again, thanks everyone for commenting and being on the show and commenting for sure. Thanks, Nick, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And it was a really mostly positive show. So I went on a positive. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, everyone, wherever you are. If it's in Sudbury or abroad, have a wonderful day. Thanks. And Nick's giving a heart for those on the radio. So we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, God willing, and have a great and safe Thursday. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.